Well, I'm somewhat puzzled by the anti-immigration rhetoric that's out there because I find it extremely polarizing. And what I also find very, very evident is a lot of people I hear rant and rave against, quote, those immigrants, have never met a recent immigrant family, never sat down and talked to them, and never really got to know them as people, got to know their story. I get a lot of mail about this topic, and I had a wonderful letter from a fellow, and he began by saying, I don't understand why the church is getting involved in this immigration thing, etc. And I said, oh, well. I got the second paragraph, and he said, then one day I happened to meet this immigrant fellow down the block, whom I'd never met before, and he was very kind to me, and in fact, he said hello to me first. Well, he said, before long, I went over and met his family, and pretty soon his family came over and met my family, and we sat around and talked, and he said, I was amazed to find out our stories were exactly the same. They were just different countries in different time periods. That was the only thing different, with the same dreams, ideals, wanting to be a part of this great nation, wanting the best for their children, education, wanting a brighter future for everyone, but a brighter future for the country too, not just selfishly for them. And so he ended his letter by saying, I'm a real convert. He said, I'm trying to get all my friends to meet some immigrant people, to get to know them and put a human face on them, and not put people in categories and say, toss this group out or that group out, but let's just talk about who our friends and neighbors are, and let's just listen to each other. The idea of breaking down barriers among people always has to deal with fear and the unknown. And one of the best ways to do that among newly arrived people is to get to know people. And it's a wonderful way to break down that. And so I just encourage everybody out there to tell your own story, first of all. Do your children know your story? Does your whole family know the family story? If they don't, they should. And they should feel proud of it and willing to share it with others. And I find that a wonderful way to get to know other people. And then get to know the neighbor stories. And the minute we start sharing our personal stories, all of the differences tend to dissolve into a wonderful common ground that we are one human family with many roots, but all nourished by the same God.